Hello there my friends, my name is Riskfish and today I'm bringing you a video on ReZero. ReZero is one of the most popular and in-depth stories of the past decade, however despite this it still has many overlooked elements in its story and today I will be exploring one of them. The authorities of ReZero are a critical element of the story. Without them, the story would only be one episode long, but thanks to Return by Death, Subaru manages to experience happiness through 20 episodes of joy. This is the first episode in a new series that aims to look at the authorities, giving you insight into their themes, their owners, and most importantly of all, their powers, beginning with the most mysterious of all, envy. The themes of kindness and envy. Envy is one of the 7 deadly sins and is an emotion which occurs when a person lacks another's superior quality, achievement or possession, and either desires it for themselves or wishes that the other lacked it. There are 2 main types of envy. Malicious envy, which is depicted as a sick force that ruins a person's mind, blindly making them want the hero to suffer. There is also a more positive type of envy called benign envy, which is viewed as a positive motivational force that causes a person to aspire to be as good as the hero. The opposing virtue to envy is kindness, which is a behaviour marked by ethical characteristics, a pleasant disposition, and concern and consideration for others. The traits that most notably distinguish the two are satisfaction and compassion. The owners of envy. So far there has only been one owner of this authority, and that is Satella, aka the Witch of Envy. That said, it is important to mention that in Arc 4 we learn that Satella and the Witch of Envy are in fact separate personalities residing in one body. Satella appears to be modelled around the virtue of kindness though, although she arguably shows examples of benign envy as well, having given Subaru a return by death to protect himself and those close to him. The Witch is primarily based around malicious envy, likely being the one to bind Subaru by the return by death contract in order to cement a special bond between the two. This can be seen when the Witch becomes jealous due to his attempts to share information on return by death, and the swallowing of the sanctuary when she can't reach him in Echidna's dream world. The difference between the Witch and the authority of envy. It's important to mention that the Witch has consumed multiple authorities, so not all of her abilities are from the authority of envy. The ability to make 2,000 unseen hands, for example, is derived from the authority of sloth, while the ability to interfere with time is arguably from the authority of greed. One ability that does need clarifying is possession though. The Witch is seen to possess Amelia in one of the sanctuary death roots and Subaru in one of the alternate futures of his second trial there. Peter Geis however reveals that this is because the two are compatible with spirits, rather than actually being based around an authority ability. The authority of envy's abilities. Ability 1. Bestow. When Subaru attends the Witch's tea party in Arc 4 he has a brief meeting with Satella, in which she basically confirms that she gave him return by death. It also reveals the motivation for her doing so, stating that she loves Subaru, wants him to save the ones he loves, and in the end she wants him to kill her. While it is unclear which authority return by death itself is a part of, it is clear that Satella is able to give other people authorities. Ability 2. Steal. In Arc 3, in a conversation between Al, Subaru and Priscilla regarding the Great Waterfall, we see that Priscilla isn't surprised about Al being summoned, but is surprised to know that Subaru didn't enter this world through the Great Waterfall. This might actually indicate that Subaru's entry was unique and that he was in fact summoned by the Witch of Envy. You see in Arc 6 we learn that Subaru does smell like Fluga, which might be the reason behind this. She also demonstrates the ability to take authorities. This can be seen by her using the abilities of the authority of Sloth, and the others that she took from the other witches. If return by death is part of pride, then it might also show how she got the authority after Stride's death. Ability 3. Emotional absorption. This one is actually rather complicated. You see, Satella didn't kill the other witches. Minerva went insane in a trap, Camilla was burned, Daphne wasted away, Typhon drowned, Sekhmet fell down the Great Cascade, and Echidna arguably died fighting Hector. Additionally, they still remain in this world in various ways. Echidna's soul still exists, as do the other 5 witches in the Tea Party, and in the case of Typhon, her physical remains are still believed to be in Pristella. Also, with the exception of Echidna, they also don't hate Satella. They also have memories of their deaths. The question then is, if Satella didn't take their bodies or souls, then how did she swallow the other 6 witches? And there is a possible answer. My theory then is that the main thing that Satella was attempting to absorb 400 years ago was the negative emotions of the other witches as an act of kindness. This would not only explain why Minerva is sane again, but would also explain why Echidna hates her, as to Echidna it would have been viewed as stealing knowledge and an experience from her. Ability 4. The Witch's Miasma. The first thing to mention about here is incompatibility. You see, Subaru only uses authorities associated with sins he has already experienced, so it is likely that incompatible is a reference to inexperience or low resistance to a sin. It is also important to mention that Subaru only really deals with one sin per arc, and almost breaks him by itself. Remember that in Arc 4, Satella is shown to be kind, possibly naive as well, so if she tried to absorb all of these negative emotions at once without experiencing them first, it would likely cause an overload of emotions. The witch's miasma therefore could be these negative emotions leaking out of Satella. This can also be demonstrated in Arc 6 as we see its effects when it turns Subaru, Ram, Patrash and Anastasia mad with hatred. It may be then that Satella swallowed half the world to contain these negative emotions before being sealed. Some of you might notice that Return by Death isn't included in this video, and the reason is that it's extremely difficult to associate with just one authority, as it shows elements associated with pride, envy, sloth and greed, to say a few. I do intend on doing a full video on this one ability later, but for now it will remain a mystery. This brings us to the end of the video. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.